So at the Peace Center, we are obviously very concerned about the way that people get along together, the way they communicate, and the way they resolve conflict, because that is making peace, resolving conflict and meeting people in the middle. Conflict resolution is what I'm supposed to talk about, but really it's about communication. It's about preventing conflicts and just dealing and interacting with people in your everyday life. I suspect, I don't know what all of you are, any of you actually, are thinking about doing when you grow up, when you get out of school and have a job. But I suspect that none of you will have a job where you don't have to interact with other people. Unfortunately, it's also very, very difficult and one of the hardest things that we can do. It takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of concentration and focus. And so what I'm doing here today is when I leave, you won't know all the answers, unfortunately. There won't be some magic thing that all of a sudden you'll have no more conflict, you'll know exactly what to do and what to say. Think of today as planting a seed so that you can think on it, you can develop it a little bit in your life, try it out, practice a bit, read more about it, talk more about it, and continually make it something that you develop. So I would like to have a volunteer, and I think I do have a volunteer, to have a little. Charles, you are such a jerk. You don't care about anything, you have ruined everything, and I either want you to straighten up and pay attention or leave.
Okay.
So what you saw, what I was doing was I was blaming Charles. You ruined everything. Okay? Did he really? Probably not. And I was judging him. You're a jerk. You don't care. These are assumptions. I don't know that. He didn't tell me that. I'm jumping in there with my own assumptions and beliefs. And also demanding. You either straighten up or leave. Okay? Unfortunately, this happens a lot in our conversations. Do you hear any of this in your lives? A lot of times with parents, with people that we're not getting along with. This is the model that we operate from. Something doesn't go right. I spilled some tea on me today and I blamed the pothole. Well, it's probably me for holding the tea when I knew the roads were bumpy. We reach out to blame, to judge, or to demand when something isn't going our way. That's kind of the way that we normally think about, first of all, operating. So now, let's rerun that and replay that a little bit differently, okay? Charles, I'm really disappointed. I put a lot of effort into this, and it looks like you weren't paying attention, and I would like the respect of your attention when I'm talking.
Okay, well, I understand and I apologize.
Okay? So, same thing, same situation, but I talked to him much differently about my thoughts, my assumptions. I put a lot of work into this. And then I'm also talking about what I want out of it. So instead of judging him, I'm talking about my thoughts. And instead of demanding that he do something about it, I'm simply expressing what I want to see happen. Okay? It's hard. Have you ever tried to focus on that? I think the other pieces of that, these are the other things that are involved in this model. I look at it as the way I'm driving my car because it's compassion, accountability, and respect. So every interaction that you have should be about compassion and accountability and respect. The other thing is that all of us at every moment have that choice, either to initiate a conversation from a place of compassion, accountability, and respect, or to respond to one. So at every moment we have two choices. We can take the easy way out or the hard way. Okay? If I take the easy way out, I'm just going to make that snowball keep rolling toward conflict, and I'm going to not have good relationships. It's going to end up in the gutter as far as my ability to communicate, to get along, to work together, to have a relationship. If I choose the hard way right now, to respond to Charles yelling at me, I'm going to take the hard way and try to really focus on my thoughts and my feelings and express them in a responsible and respectful way. I will make myself learn and grow. I'll make the relationship learn and grow. And I'll move that snowball more toward good communication and conflict resolution. So every moment when I feel something rubs me wrong that someone has said, or I read something in the paper, or I see a situation and it just rubs me wrong, I have a choice. And the first part of the choice is to stop and focus on, why is this rubbing me wrong? You know, has anybody water skied? Yes. So what happens when you fall down? It hurts. And are you hanging on to the rope? For a while you are, anyway. What happens if you fall and hang on to the rope? You get dragged along. And I think that's what happens sometimes with our communication, is I feel anger and I let it just take me, just like the boat hanging onto the water ski rope. I let it just take me, and I lash out and I blame, or I judge, or I demand. This model is about letting go of that rope and saying, I'm not going to let my feelings and my thoughts run away with me. I'm going to focus on changing that situation. And then the next step is figuring out to share it or not. Can you do it in a way that shows compassion? Can you do it in a way that takes accountability for your piece of it? Can you do it in a way that's respectful to yourself as well as the other person? And if you can't, then maybe it's not time to share it, or maybe it's not something that you need to share. But the very first thing that you can do, and that will help you a huge amount in communicating and getting along, is just to develop the awareness. A lot of times when I do this and I ask people what they're feeling, I get about 3 standard things. I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling happy. Well, our feelings are multidimensional. We have a lot of possible feelings, and most of us don't stop to spend time to figure out exactly what it is that we're feeling. It's a little beyond sad. Is it hurt? Is it disappointed? Is it overwhelmed? Exactly what it is, and the more you can figure that out, the more you'll know how to respond. When you know where you want to go, then you know better how to get there. Okay? So when someone does yell at you, make that bridge. Stop and figure out, what do I think they're feeling? What is it that they really want besides calling me a jerk? Are they just upset? Are they disappointed? And then use that as a bridge. It's not an easy thing to do. I have been teaching this and trying to do this for many, many years, and I still have to stop and redo things sometimes, or stop and think about it. And I still make mistakes. Sometimes I still hang onto that water ski pole and let it drag me around. But I stop and am aware of it. And my intention is, I'll do better next time. And that's all we can ask of ourselves, right? Because it's about compassion and respect